Hello and welcome back to AstroChiron, the video companion for AstroChiron.com. AstroChiron is the one-stop shop for all things astrology, from readings to monthly horoscopes to a free ask feature where you can reach me directly. If this video is your introduction to this channel, feel free to look at one of the several completed series I've done on the sun, ascendant, and moon signs. Speaking of moon signs, this video aims to teach you how to flow with her. I was reading Will Smith's autobiography, Will, and he went to talk to a woman, perhaps a spiritualist or a counselor, in attempts to better his mental health. She called the moon the great mother or the ultimate feminine or something along those lines. Her influence is the heartbeat of the earth, with her tides literally pushing and pulling over 70% of the earth's surface. Look at her influence. There's no wonder why the moon is tied to our emotions. Like feminine expression, and I mean energetically feminine, not socially and culturally feminine, these energies wax and wane, along with the waxing and waning of the moon cycle. Of course, what sign the moon is in has a huge effect on her expression and in turn your emotional expression during that time. In addition to that, the moon cycle influences the expression of your inner self, the things you need during that moon phase, and how to best interact with the world around you. This cycle can be equated to a journey through the Zodiac, as this cycle mirrors a lifespan with all of the ebbs and flows of learning, experiencing, and processing. One could also look at the moon cycle as a symbol for a year, starting from the winter solstice at the new moon all the way through the days after Samhain, which is just in time to prepare for the next new moon. I will also be discussing what angles the moon and the sun are making during each phase, as I give some advice on what to do and what not to do during those days. Beginning at the winter solstice, we begin with the new moon. Beside being the second entry into Stephenie Meyer's odd Mormon dream fantasy series Twilight, the new moon is the first phase of the synodic month. The new moon finds the moon in the direct path of the light of the sun, blocking her from our point of view. If you think of the Zodiac as a belt around the earth, you'll find that this places the sun and the moon in the same sign during this phase. This gives a synergy between your wants and your needs during this time, as your sun and your moon respectively are on the same page. At the proper angle, this phase results in a solar eclipse, a time where the inner becomes more important than the outer. Both this new moon and its more extreme expression, the solar eclipse, put an emphasis on your emotions and your intuition, suggesting that the hidden becomes very obvious during this time. Now is the time for focusing on you and only you, as this new energy gives you the impetus to start a new project or to begin a new habit. This is the one time where following your impulses is actually more likely to go well, so let your intuition lead the way. During this waxing phase, you should work out. I don't suggest gyms though, as this is all about you. In fact, self-isolating may not even be a bad idea for these few days, as it's best to avoid too much conflicting energy. This fits both the energy-focused sign of Aries at the top of the Zodiac and the self-interested self-improvement innate to the coldness and isolation of the winter solstice. If we're looking at this lunar month as a trek, this is when we begin our brainstorming. This idea is yours and only yours, and you can make your most personal plans now. Onto the waxing crescent moon, which is the iconic moon symbol that we typically use in astrology. This phase finds the moon just past the sign of the sun and sextile the sun as well. The sun and the moon are in complementary signs, but their goals are no longer aligned. This is when the plans you make during the last phase begin to take shape. On the other hand, this is when the obstacles that will go on to impede your journey begin to show themselves as well. If you aren't careful, you may find yourself discouraged by all this new information. After all, we're halfway between the winter solstice and the vernal equinox for this phase. During this time of the year, we're feasting on preserves, hiding from the harshest parts of winter, and stoking our fires. Boredom is upon us, and the trials are apparent. You must pour this slightly waning optimism into all your actions, pushing you toward the promise of spring. In the Zodiac, we'd be somewhere around Taurus and Gemini, so we'd indeed be hungry and worry. We need more information and more resources, but we're also still very afraid to reach out for help or to test the temperature of our environment. This time of the month will be perfect for grocery shopping or cooking something really hearty. Try to gather as much materials as you can via shopping or even budgeting. Now is the time to turn that brainstorming session into concrete plans as you plant metaphorical seeds into the cold soil. Hell, plant literal seeds too. Now we're here at the vernal equinox, or the beginning of spring. This is the time of the first quarter moon. The sun and moon are square here, causing the first real conflict between what you want and what you need. At this point, your inner needs and your outer expression share methodology. With their goals being in direct opposition, it's not very likely for there to be compromise between the two. Issues will arise during these few days that will make you second guess your methodologies on whatever journey you've set out on. This is still a waxing moon phase, so your intuition should still be very prominently placed in your decision making though. Is what you want what you really need? Now you must really take stock of your emotions. We've reached Cancer in our zodiacal quest, so perhaps it's best to visit family or do something else to ground yourself. Really take care of your spirit. making sure to place your spiritual needs over your physical ones for these few days. Maybe spend some time at home or in your childhood home. At the start of spring, the ground is just beginning to thaw, and we considered for the first time in months that there may be some other people out there in the big cold world. Maybe use this time to invite people over, those closest to you, or perhaps visit the comfort zone of a good friend or partner. In our final phase before the climax of the full moon, and the final phase I'll cover before the ad break, we have the waxing gibbous moon. If we started with the moon at Aries, she's now made her way into the territory of Leo and Virgo, or trining and conjunct, the original position. Here, you have a moment of total clarity followed by a sense of complete confusion. This energy is extremely beneficial for your creative energies. This allows you to have a second wind for brainstorming and getting all the last bits of what you need before you hit the apex of the lunar cycle, and as such, the climax of this month's journey. You now realize that your efforts just may require the help of others, or perhaps you'll have to lean on systems outside of your control. Are you in the best place to execute your plans? Or are the people around you the ones you should be keeping around you at your destination? This phase represents May Day. The ground has thawed and flowers are poking up. Social gatherings have begun, and we must now keep vigilant on our journey. How to harness this energy? I hear you asking your screen. Well, dear listener, you lean into your creativity, make some art, use your imagination, and try to find new methods of expression. This time of high energy is here to get you to the top of the circle, just before you coast down, so get the real work done now before you're on the downswing. Most importantly, now is the time to really reach out and help others, especially children. Really give them proper attention, whether they be yours, others, or even your own inner child. After all, out of the mouths of babes, right? Finally, please consider your health. This is a good time for doctor's visits, personal check-ins, and even surgeries. But please consult an astrological almanac for the timing of that kind of thing too. When we come back from the AstroChiron ad, we'll discuss the full moon, the phase who is likely the Regina George of the lunar phase. Really pretty, but overly focused on. This video is brought to you by me. I am the astrologer behind AstroChiron.com, the one-stop shop for astrological readings, articles, horoscopes, and art. The first 20 subscribers to this channel will gain access to all 20 plus written and live readings for a 40% off discount. I have a free ask feature that you can use for quick questions that I will respond to via blog post. Readings range from $25 to $200, whether you want 3 questions answered in detail all the way to a thorough hour-long or more reading from me personally via phone or video chat, discussing your entire natal chart, the aspects within it, and each planet's placement. Again, that's astrochiron.com, ASTRO-CHIRON.com. So if you ask me, the new moon is the most important phase of the whole cycle. The full moon, however, with its focus on light and its objective beauty, has been the more popular phase for magic practitioners, amateur astronomers, and 18th century psychologists alike. This is the first phase where the moon begins to wane, though she still has her full illumination here. In fact, the full moon is equated to the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. At the perfect angle, this phase appears as a lunar eclipse from our point of view. This phenomena encourages you to focus on the projection of your energy. Both the full moon and a lunar eclipse are especially creative time periods. Perhaps this is because your sun and moon are in opposite signs. This sounds more deleterious than it is, as opposing signs have the same exact goal. They just have opposing ways of getting to it. This actually provides 2 separate methods of achieving the same ends, making for quicker and more thorough work. Full moons provide us the energy to really shake things up. You may even realize that everything you've done in these past 2 weeks has been awful, and you decide to scrap the whole project. If your month-long trek survives this full moon, proceed with vigor. The conclusion is worth the work needed to get there, and this is likely something you need in your life. If you do decide to start over, don't despair. Just take a new route next month or start on a different journey altogether. You become very aware of your community during this time, especially if you equate this phase with Libra, as this is about where we'll be on the Zodiac. Use this time to focus on others, especially your partners and close friends. Your effects on them and theirs on you are especially prominent during this time of the month. Otherwise, spend time on your beauty. Get a facial, start a new skin routine, or buy some new clothes. Don't forget to meditate and seek a sense of peace. After all, we're over the hill for this month and the ball is rolling ever faster toward the next month. Next, we have the Disseminating Moon. I want to call it the waning gibbous for symmetry, but I saw disseminating much more often. Here we have the sun and moon in an opposite aspect from the waxing gibbous, presenting a sense of total confusion followed by a moment of total clarity. These few days may focus on the aftermath of all the revelations that happened during the full moon, causing mental chaos followed by contented acceptance. With all this new information, don't be afraid to adjust your methods or your plans slightly to better assist you with this month's work. This phase is associated with the time between the summer solstice and the autumnal equinox. Food is scarce, and you're likely living off the few preserves you have left as everyone prepares for the harvest. Now is the time to share wisdom for the next growing season, literally disseminating information amongst your community. This is also a good time to seek out insight from those wiser than yourself. Use that brief time of synergistic energy between your wants and needs to sharpen your wit and to remain discerning. Share your knowledge via teaching or mentoring while seeking your own answers. Most importantly, try to align your body with your spirit during these 4 or so days. Now we've reached another time of friction between our wants and needs, much like in the first quarter moon. The last quarter moon, however, finds you near the end of this month's trek versus just after its beginning. We're a bit more jaded at this point, so the conflicting goals of our feelings versus our actions is something we can handle a bit better despite our diminished energies. This is the time to reflect on what you've done these past 3 weeks. Now is not the time for change, as your journey is toward its end, and you should be focusing on the destination now, sticking the landing, so to speak. Use the energy that this planetary conflict creates, remember the sun is square the moon during this phase, to tie loose up ends, as you've likely almost run out of steam. After all, this is the fall equinox, the start of the harvest season. We've toiled, starved, and sweated for these results, and here they finally are. These few days for taking stock of your place in all this. After all, you've done all this work for yourself, but have you at all thought about how you've affected those around you or those you'll meet later? Reflect on the legacy you're leaving behind and how this month is really the beginning of the rest of your life. Leave your comfort zone and take a real objective look at yourself before this all starts over next month. And finally, we have the Balsamic Moon, which sounds quite delicious. Apparently the vinegar and the moon both stem from the word balsam, which describes anything that acts as a restorative or soothing agent. The Balsamic Moon is associated with Samhain or Halloween and is perfectly represented by the thinning of the veil that happens there. The harvested plants have given their fruits and their dead stalks go back to rot in the soil, providing more nutrients for next year's harvest or hay for this year's livestock. All this work is over and this energy is magnified by the sextile aspect between the sun and the moon. There exists a sense of ease between your wants and your needs. You now have the hindsight of your journey to support your recollections and to benefit next month's task, whatever it may be. What did you do wrong? What did you do right? Who can you rely on next time? Will next month bring you ever closer to your life's ultimate goal? You know, the heavy shit. Take this time to sleep, and I mean it. Nap, rest, relax, recharge, whatever you need to do to enjoy the fruits of the month while they're fresh, knowing that soon you're going to do all this over again. More importantly, make your needs aware for those around you and don't be afraid to accept the help that comes with that. We are, after all, about to enter the self-interested time of the new moon, so it's best to rely on your pit crew of sorts to get you back into tip-top shape before getting back on the track. Life is a Highway began playing in my mind, so I think I'm going to end the video there. Oh, no, wait. I have to explain the void of course moon. This is the period of time after the moon has made her final aspect in one sign and before she makes her ingress into the next. During this time, plans don't progress as the moon wanders, tethered to no planet for a short period. This is why it's best to rest during this time. Metaphorically, seeds don't take root during these hours, so do your best not to make plans while the moon is void of course. It only lasts anywhere from a few hours to a half day or so, just take it easy. If you must take action, don't put too much energy into it. I've also done a video on how to comfort yourself depending on which moon sign you're born under or what sign the moon is in during your upset. So use these videos in tandem to really get in touch with your inner self and your internal ebbs and flows. I do want to thank you all for watching this video, especially if you're still here in the outro. If you like the video, please let me know by actually capital L liking the video and maybe give me a subscribe if you like the vibe of the channel. Next week, we'll begin our remedial course in what the astrological signs are and how their archetypes, energies, and influences affect our everyday lives. I'm even calling it Astrology Basics, and I'll have to do the same thing with the houses at some point as well. Anyway, stay tuned, and as always, much love.